Welcome back. Mark Arkington here, and my trusty co-host, Leroy. How you doing, Leroy? Welcome back to episode 2 of How To Ark, where we follow our survivor, Hollywood, into the journey of his Ark life. Today we're going to go over taming. Now, taming can be separated into two different categories, both passive and knockout tame. Hollywood's going to show you how to do both of those today. Now, we're not going to go after any extraordinary creatures like T-Rexes or Gigas or anything like that. We're going to go over some day one tames. Some things that can really get you going when you're very first starting out in this game. But I'm going to go ahead and throw it to our boy Hollywood so he can show you how it's done. What is up, everybody? My name's Kevin. You can call me Hollywood, though. And we're back at the Humble Beginnings house, and I'm going to teach you how to tame your first creatures today. Taming is one of the most fun things in this game, in my opinion. It's actually what got me into Ark in the first place. I mean, who wouldn't want to tame a dino and ride around on a dinosaur all day? You know what I mean? Like, it just sounds like a lot of fun. But today I'm going to get into the two different types of tames, which is knockout method and passive taming method. Now, both of these are a little different, so we're going to go over the very basic ones today. We're not going to get into any crazy creatures that are like more in-game. We're going to go very beginning game. So if you are starting out on Ark for the very first day, these are some of the guys that you're going to want to go for right away. But I will get you back in here when we find our first guy to tame out or to knock out. I'll be right back. Okay, everybody, I brought y'all back in to show you what you need to go out into the world to get some of your first tames. Now, a lot of the creatures in Ark are tamed through the knockout method. Now, the quickest way to do this is to craft a bow, right? And then make some arrows in your inventory, all right? Now, these are Tranq Arrows. This is what we're trying to make today, but you'll start with arrows. Now, if you see a Mortar and Pestle, which this is what a Mortar and Pestle looks like, okay, you go over here, click F on it, you'll go to consumables, then drugs, and it takes, if you look, we need to make narcotics, okay? Narcotics take 5 narco berries and 1 spoiled meat to make 1 narcotic. Go ahead and double click on that, wait for it to craft, and then you put it in your inventory. Now, if you have some regular arrows in your inventory and then you pair it with a narcotic, you can actually craft these Tranq Arrows, which is what we're going to be using today. So if you look, and you pull out this, you'll see that the arrow is actually green. One of the common mistakes is that you don't actually have a Tranq Arrow equipped and you start shooting at a dino with a regular arrow and you kill it. We don't want to do that. So make sure that when you're out in the world and you're about to go shoot something, make sure that arrow is green before you start shooting it, if you want to tame it, that is. But yeah, let's go ahead and find our first knockout tame. I'll bring you back when I do. Okay, we found our first tame. It's only a level 4 dodo, but that's okay for demonstration purposes. We actually didn't have to travel too far from the base. He's right outside. And you can find these dodos all over the beach and everything. But as you can see, we have our Tranq Arrow equipped. We pull it back with left click. We shoot. We killed it. We killed it. We picked this guy to follow. Out of all the survivors out there, we picked this guy. You don't want to do that. You definitely don't want to do that. Now, if you saw that I just, in my left-hand side of the screen, you can actually recover that arrow. It won't be a Tranq Arrow anymore. It'll actually go into your inventory as just a regular stone arrow. But yeah, you get the point. Well, I see another dodo over here. Let's go try to not kill this one. Okay. Parkour. 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 Okay, this one is level 14. Let's shoot it in the butt. Okay, you see it start. Oh, and it went out. It went out. They all have like a little animation for when they like get torpored out and they go to sleep. Now you can see in yellow up there it says he's unconscious, which is good. Now if you go up to him, that purple bar is going down quite quickly. That you need to have narcotic berries, which are black berries, to help make sure that he doesn't wake up. You can actually put regular narcotics in his inventory too. And then herbivores really like the mejo berries. Now they like all kinds of berries, and we already tamed him. Look at that. He took his first bite and he already tamed up for us. Let's drumstick. Drumstick seems like a good name. Now, give me that back. You can keep the mejo berries. We're going to pick them up. We're going to take them back to base. We're not very far. Now, dodos aren't actually used for very much. They're kind of useless. Now, one thing you can use them for is kibble. Now, if you pair this guy... Or is it a guy? What are you? You're a girl. You're a girl. Drumstick's a girl. If we pair this with a guy, they can make eggs for you. And you can turn the eggs into kibble. And kibble is the preferred food by some dinos. Now, there's different types of kibble that you can make. And different dinos accept different kibbles. So this guy will tame... I think he makes simple kibble. And so we can tame any of the dinos that actually require simple kibble to tame. Instead of using like berries or special meats, you can make the kibble and then they tame faster. Just pooped. But yeah, we got our first tame. Yay, drumstick. It was a knockout tame. Now, what I'm going to have to go out and try to find is a passive tame. Now, the passive tames are a little bit different. We got some different things that we're going to need to try to do. But let me try to find it first, and then I'll bring you back when I do. Okay, everybody, we're back, and I found a couple creatures that are passive tames. These guys are called moss chops. As you can see, this is a wild male 16. And if you get close to it, it'll actually kind of come up in a in like gray, put giant bee honey in last slot, and to feed. And look, there's another one. This one, rare mushrooms. Now these guys are very picky. These guys actually can have a different array of foods that they want. It's just simply finding the one that you can tame. Now we obviously don't have those two items yet. Are you the same guy? Yeah, giant bee honey. Looks like there's a couple over here. What are you? Oh, okay, so you see it lit up blue because I have it. It's in my last slot, the mejo berry, which is the purple berry. And if you just walk up to it and you hit E, boom! We already tamed it. It only took 1 feed. Now this is a very low level guy. But it's a level 20 moss chops, and you can actually ride these guys. They're kind of derpy looking. Look, there are tons of moss chops over here. Just really close to the base. But very derpy. You can ride on its neck. And now these guys are harvesting experts. I wouldn't necessarily say they're fighters. They're definitely more of a lover. But these guys, if you go up to a certain creature, you could get tons of meat from it. Or if you go up to a bush, you can get tons of resources from it. These guys are really good for resource collecting. Now, another thing that are really cool about the moss chops is that if this is a boy, if we were to go tame one of the girls here, look, there's one real close to base. What are you? You're a female rare mushroom. Okay, we don't have a rare mushroom. But if you were to pair this up with a female, they can lay eggs. And the moss chops eggs is actually considered a, I think it's a large egg, so that it can be made to make superior kibble. And superior kibble can tame a lot of really good creatures, guys. So if you got yourself a female and male moss chops at the very beginning of the game, you could start having eggs ready to make really good kibble for more later game tames and stuff. So I feel like the moss chops is a very, very good first tame along with the dodo. And as you saw, we just did the knockout tame with the dodo, and then we did the passive tame with the moss chops. So that's pretty much the gist of it. Now, one thing I want to show y'all is we just tamed 2 herbivores. These guys are nice. They're not going to attack you, right? I want to go out into the world and try to find something that might try to hurt us. And that way I can show you kind of the way that you would want to tame it before you get to the point of having like a taming trap or something like that. So something carnivorous, something that will come attack us. So I'll be right back once I find something, and see you then. Okay, guys, we're back. Hollywood has found a landed pterodon. He's gonna make his move. He pulls out a bola, hits it, pulls out his bow with a Tranq Arrow equipped, hits it once in the face, twice in the face, and it is unconscious. He will take what little meat he has in his inventory, stick it in the bird, and keeps his head on a swivel. Looks like there's an enemy dodo and a bronto in the distance. None of these are threats. What is this? I think Hollywood has just stumbled upon a floating tree. Very, very odd. He seems very preoccupied with the floating tree. He's checking it out. Still keeping his head on a swivel. These are good survival tactics. Looks like he's gonna stand on top of this rock for some high ground. Now, I think he could find a little bit better high ground than this, but he's working with what the terrain is giving him. He checks on his pterodon one more time, puts a narcotic in it just for safekeeping. Looks like he's gonna explore the territory, make sure there's nothing that's gonna pop out of the bushes at him. Passes the floating tree, and he finds a dillo in the distance. I think this is what he's gonna go after. He's gonna tame it, guys. He pulls out a bola, has it swinging already, grabs the dillo's aggro, throws it, and connects. He's gonna pull out his bow here, shoots it once in the face. Twice. Oh! It was in its animation of going down. I don't know if that's going to mess up its taming effectiveness. He looks in his inventory, has no more meat. Is he gonna kill this moss chops? I think he is. He pulls out his bola, throws it, gets him all tangled up, pulls out a spear, and is stabbing this moss chops in the lower neck. This is very good survival technique, guys. He has no more meat. He's already taming a pterodon. He's gonna kill this moss chop, which is really good for lots of meat and lots of hide. He broke one spear. It's already really bloody, and he got it. He pulls out his pick, and this will get him more meat than hide. Remember, guys. Once you get all this meat, he'll have more than enough for the dillo and the pterodon. Puts some in, takes half of it away by shift clicking. Very, very good technique there. He checks his surroundings one last time. That bronto might step on the dillo's face. That would be unfortunate. Keeps the head on a swivel. Oh, and the dillo is tamed. Already, he has himself some teeth. He's going to go back past the floating tree to the pterodon. Looks like he just ate. He's going to put the rest of the meat in his inventory, and we'll bring you back when it's tamed. Alright, everybody. Well, we got back home, and we got our 2 tames. We actually found a pterodon out there, so I went ahead and tamed it. But this is the guy we were looking for, a dillo. And let's go ahead and name this Kilo the Dillo. Kilo the Dillo. Yeah, Kilo the Dillo it is. Kilo the Dillo is a female. If we were to find a male counterpart, they also could produce eggs that would be used for kibble. I think they are on the same tier kibble as the dodo. But guys, make sure you go check out Dodo Decks. They have all of your taming needs. It's not sponsored or anything, but it's just an app that I use, and it's very, very helpful. Let's go ahead and name our first flyer of the series. I don't have to put my tag on it because I'm on a server alone. Let's see, what would a first flyer be called? He's kind of green in color, yellow wings. Lemon Lime. Lemon Lime, welcome to the tribe. If I could spell, oh my god. If you want to stand out there, that's okay. Now, we don't have we're not high enough level to make the saddle for this guy, and we do not have the right resources to make the saddle for this guy yet. So I can't be airborne, which is disappointing, but it's understandable. But Kilo the Dillo it can be very, very useful. It can be kind of like base defense, or just, you can have this guy follow you by pressing T. And then, so if you go out into the world, he can kind of be, I guess, a kind of like de facto bodyguard for you. They're not necessarily the best fighters, but they do have teeth and they will attack, so it can get you out of some sticky situations. But yeah, so we got our first carnivore for the series, and we actually have our first flyer over there too. We got 2 herbivores today. Both passive and knockout tames were shown. So guys, until next time, take it easy. Is that really his outro? It's gonna need some work on that, Leroy. What do you think?